Hey, everybody. This is William Rochelle, but you can call me Bill. And this is my thought of the day. My thought of the day is to tell people that you love them while they're here, to tell people how much you appreciate them while they're here, and give them their flowers while they are here. I just lost my aunt. I found out this morning, and I was conflicted until I wrote about it. I was conflicted because in her final days, well, for the past 20 years, she's been dealing with Parkinson's. But in the last 5 years, it had become um, aggressively worse. And Parkinson's is a really, really hard uh, disease to deal with because the person is losing their motor skills, but their mind normally is still very coherent up until a certain stage. So there were things that my aunt wanted to do that she couldn't. And because of that, she was growing frustrated. And when you're frustrated, anger comes out. Um, but when I wrote about her today, what I realized was that my memory of her, the real her, was so deep and so strong, it overshadowed the last 5 years. Um, I know that she didn't want to live her life the way that she was living it, isolated to a corner, having people bring her food, unable to cook for herself. It was a challenge, and when someone's going through a challenge like that, there is a sense of relief, at least for me, that she's now free to do the things that she wants to do in the way that she wants to do them. I believe that we're all energy, and that energy does not die, it just transfers, and she's out of the cage of that body that was restricting her from flying, and now she can fly. Everyone has different relationships with different people, and I will say, to me, and I firmly believe this, um, I believe that I was my aunt's favorite. I say that strongly because I'm rarely anyone's favorite, but I believe that I was her favorite. I confided in her about things that I didn't want to discuss with others. Um, when I was in my early 20s, she came from New York to Los Angeles to visit me and my friend, and she went to a nightclub with us, and we all just hung out and had fun all night. And my friends were like, "Your aunt's so cool." She was one of the first African American flight attendants for American Airlines. She has paraphernalia where she was actually one of the flight attendants for Air Force One. And this was back in when she was a flight attendant, and it was in the 60s. And that's it was a very glamorous job. You were either a model or a flight attendant, and that's what people when they describe someone as beautiful, they would refer to that. But she wasn't only beautiful on the outside; her inner self was just as beautiful to me, and she showed me things that I didn't know were possible. She exposed me to things that I'd never been exposed to before. Um, she came out from New York and flew to California and took me, just me and her, on a trip to Hawaii, and I'd never been. It was just a very, very, very cool relationship. I love her very much. I was frustrated a little bit because my mom was her caregiver. And as a caregiver, when someone's declining, that's a very hard job. And I really wish peace for my mother, because my mother was a caregiver for not only my aunt, but my grandmother, and not only for my grandmother, but for my father's grandmother, so my great grandmother. And being a caregiver in my mom's case did not come with many thank yous. It came with much demand. And the relationship with being a caregiver for your mom is different than the relationship being a caregiver for your sister, who they were rivals most of their lives. They didn't have a kumbaya relationship, but my mother loved her very much and did everything that she could to ensure that she was comfortable. And, with the frustration that my aunt was going through, she didn't recognize that as she should. She recognized it as, why are you not allowing me to walk around the house freely? Um, she was a fall hazard. And that was scary for my mom, because my mom wanted to keep her there as long as she could because she loved her. My aunt didn't necessarily want to live under those constraints. So there's that mix and balance there where, I felt a sense of relief because I knew that my aunt's in a better place. So the thought of the day is to give people their flowers while they're here, um, to recognize the person for who they actually are, not who they were during the hardest times of their life. Because she was struggling with trying to figure out, why is it that my mind is saying I can do this, but my body is saying no. And to not judge people, and to all the caregivers out there, you have to be able to care for yourself before you can help somebody else. And that's a fact. I couldn't do what my mom had done all those years over and over and over again, and I respect her for it. Um, and I understand that we make the best decisions that we can as humans, being caregivers, um, in that moment. But yeah, it has to be frustrating. It had to have been frustrating for her too. So, um, thank you guys for listening. Don't take life for granted. Um, I I do leave with this. She did pass um, peacefully in the night. She just didn't wake up this morning, which is the way to go. I think. I don't know. I've never gone before, but um, you guys have a blessed day, and tell the person that you love the most that you love them, and tell the person that you love the least that, if you do love them, but you love them the least. Some people, you love them, but you don't like them. Um, tell that person how important they are to you. Find common ground and understand life is a gift and it's not forever. So let go of things that have prevented you from reaching out to someone like Courtney Carter, who should be reaching out to me right now, but she hasn't. Let's see if she does. Love you guys. Bye.